Hi everyone, this is Natasha from Nat Healing. Most of you know that I'm a lot about opening the heart, supporting myself just as others to step into their power, to align with who they truly are, to be in their power and their sovereignty. And that's my path as much as it is the work that I'm doing with others. So I would love to share something that happened to me which opened my heart immensely, and it was really difficult before that. The last 2 days I was going through a really strange time, strange energy. I felt like I couldn't open my heart. I did my daily practices. I was consistent. I was really consistent. It wasn't like every 2 minutes, but I was just reminding myself and grounding and opening to source and opening my heart. I have a new way of it's actually not really a new way, but it's gotten another dimension. How I'm doing this through the work that I'm doing with a beautiful mentor of mine who's called Zoe Davenport. And so I was doing something and she told me and taught me, and that worked really nice, and suddenly I just couldn't open my heart. And even though this is really similar to what I have been doing before, and which is actually it's just opening to source, grounding, really connecting to Gaia, and then opening your heart. And while I was doing that quite similarly before, when I tried the way she taught me, it became just also through the work I was doing with her, I felt more expansive and even more open. And it was so beautiful. And especially the days before, the day before yesterday, it was just like I could only think of it and my heart would just jump right open, and it was so beautiful. And then suddenly the day before yesterday, and yesterday it became so dense, and even though I was really tuning in, and it just wouldn't happen. So this morning it was quite the same story again, and at some point during this morning I realized, well, maybe it just takes a little bit more time. So what I did was I went to the beach. My son wanted to go for a swim, and I sat on the rocks, and I started just connecting to the earth. I just said, it doesn't matter, I'll just connect to the rocks. I connect to the sea. I connect to just feeling the rocks first, just really physical, feeling the rocks underneath my feet and then underneath me as I was sitting there. And touching it with my hands and connecting to the ocean and just being there and looking at the waves and the sun and everything. So I was sitting there in nature, and suddenly I felt a slight shift in my energy, and then I started like literally connecting my energy to the energy of Gaia. So really grounding into that beautiful energy around me and feeling it and just enjoying it. And I allowed myself, that was a very important point, I allowed myself to be where I was at. I stopped expecting myself to have that hugely opened heart again. Just said like, okay, so if that's what I'm going through, let's see, I allow myself to feel all of that. And of course it started shifting, and I really connected to nature. So I was sitting in nature, and I said, like, no matter how long it takes, that's what I need right now. Even before that, I sat down, I saw friends, and this friend started talking, and I just realized I just can't take it. It's too much for me. It feels so tiring. So that's why I went to the rocks, and it gave me so much energy. And really just being in nature and just not trying to even see more than I see, or from with my physical eyes, just being there. And then slowly, gradually, that started changing, and it was so beautiful. And suddenly I felt my heart opening, and my son came and he sat next to me, and we had the most beautiful time together, just sitting on the rocks watching the waves. And then he showed me a hole in the rocks, and I felt so connected to him and to nature. And that's an important point. I find that this happened to me, and I know that it happens to many people. When we start opening our hearts, when we start connecting, when we start opening up to Source and connecting to the earth, and just expanding, it's very often this beautiful feeling that we're having when we're alone, because we can connect to everything, and it feels all so wonderful, and we even open our third eye, and we see far more than we would see with our physical eyes. But then somebody comes into our life, even a loved one, and we feel disturbed, like, hey, I was meditating, I was like connecting, I was feeling that expansiveness, that open heart, but it closes down as soon as somebody comes close. And through that connection, that I just allow myself for these energies to move through, and connecting to Mother Earth, and just being there, my heart opened in a way, and I set that intention, of course, as well, because I realized that this was happening to me for quite a while, that I want to bring that into life. I want to bring that into daily life, and not feel expanded and then work, because it's about becoming the change. It's about being the change. You know, and for that we need to be consistent, and just consistently open our heart, because it's great to do meditation, and you can do a 2-hour meditation and feel amazing, or go to a meditation retreat and feel amazing. But if you don't bring it into your daily life, and bring it down to earth with your children, with your family, with your co-workers, with your employees, whatever you're doing, then you're jumping in and out, kind of like in 2 lives. And I was so happy today, because today I managed to bring all that into life. Like, really, I felt so beautiful, and we had an amazing time, and he left and he came back, and I could just stay in that expansiveness and connect. And then I even had this amazing insight, and I could stay open even though people around me, like loved ones who is here as well, who didn't feel good. And in the past I would just like take on that energy and become nervous and stuff, and I was just like, I would say like, what's going on? Is something wrong? And the person would say like, oh no, I don't feel good. And I would stay happy. I wouldn't be affected, and I could still feel compassion without having to buy into the drama. I mean, this is the most important thing, and to do that with a loved one is just amazing, because that's where we get triggered most. For me, it's easy to stay in my power and to stay connected and open. When some friend, even a very dear friend, usually when they tell me things, I can stay in that flow, I can send love, I can have Source pour through me. But in family, I couldn't do that. I would just like immediately just be triggered and react and get nervous and leave me alone. And now I could just be there and sit there, and I go like, wow. So if you feel that you cannot connect, you do your meditation, you do your morning rituals, you do your daily practice that I hope you have. It's really important. And you realize that you cannot connect, and somehow you're still separate and angry or whatever it is. Allow yourself to be where you are, and if you can, ground physically into nature. It's amazing to ground spiritually, but sometimes it's so worthwhile grounding physically into nature. Just go, take your shoes off, walk on sand, walk on the grass, sit on a rock, go hug a tree, do whatever feels good for you. Or just sit down on a meadow and watch the beautiful flowers and the bees come by, and just be there and absorb that, and allow yourself to move through those feelings. I'm very much about tools and connecting and meditation and everything. I just find that sometimes the physical action can help you move through and release and move through energy that that this is sometimes what it's needed. And the other thing that I find very helpful, and I want to share here as well, is to move your body. Go for a walk, go for a run, go for a swim, go for a bike ride. So whatever you can do to change your state, your physical movement, do a yoga session, whatever it is, helps you shift the energy in your body, helps you move. We all know how we feel if we go jogging, if you can, or even if you cannot go jogging or for a walk, just movement with attention. Just do a slow movement, even like this with your hand and coming back down. And if your attention is fully in your hand and you feel, what muscles am I moving now? What moves these fingers? Where do I feel it? You're just completely in your body. You can do the slightest movement and it can change your state. So even though this was a bit of a mix and match of things I've experienced and I'm sharing, I hope it was helpful. So you can shift your energy through movement, through connecting physically to Mother Earth and to nature and to whatever's around it. And of course through tools and meditations that I'm sharing or anyone else is sharing or you're doing anyway. So there's a lot to do. I have a few videos out if you want to check it out. I have a YouTube channel. So if you clicked on this video, you're on my YouTube channel anyway. And also I have a beautiful group, Love Your Life with Nat Healing, on Facebook that you're most welcome to join if you're inspired by my content. And I have a beautiful healing session coming up on September 10th. It's about releasing unresolved emotions. So if you have emotions that you find difficult to resolve, that are bothering you, like resentment or hurt or guilt or shame or frustration or anger, you are most welcome to check it out and join me. It is on September 10th and I'm posting the link below where you can learn more and register. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this video was helpful. I'm sending you much love. Bye bye.